Okay, shall we get started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to Flash Club Live. I am Nina. This is Leah. Say hello, Leah.
Hello, I'm Leah.
And this is Bill.
Hello.
Hi. And we are here. We come every Thursday night at 8 o'clock to read a very short story. And then we talk about it. And then we write about it. So tonight, in case you're wondering, we're all gothed up. Even Bill's wearing black. Good job, Bill. Did you just put that on?
I'm cold. I've had a chill all day.
Hey, that's appropriate too.
Right? Because, yeah, that's right. It's at the end of days. Is that how it feels?
It does.
It does.
Poe was for like most of his life, so you're just
Yeah, he was like consumptive, right?
yeah, which
Okay.
explains
Yeah.
hallucinations constantly. Yeah,
Mm. Did he like stay past the NyQuil? Did he take
Too much cold medicine.
yeah.
I'm going to channel him tonight.
Okay. So tonight we are reading Silence of Fable by Edgar Allan Poe. I put the link in the chat about 100 times because I can't see it. And this is 1,155 words, which is a little bit longer than our normal story. And this was written in 1837, so it's a doozy. It's a workout. It's going to be a workout to read, and it's going to be kind of a workout to think about. We're not gonna solve the riddle that is Edgar Allan Poe tonight, but we're just gonna kind of stretch ourselves a little bit and get a little bit goth and find out and use him to create a prompt.
Cool.
So let's see. I will read.
Can we just say real quick before we start reading, the Goth isn't just for Poe tonight. There was
Yeah.
Goth preceding Poe.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
And Goth Everlasting. So that's right. I think that's a great point, Bill. So Leah did the autopsy of the Gothic, which is why I chose Edgar Allan Poe for tonight's Flash Club, because I think that, spoiler alert, Leah's going to be doing a lot on Gothic writing.
Mm-hmm. Like a lot.
Do you want to talk at all about that?
Not necessarily, but I do think that Poe is a great signifier of what classic Gothic literature looks like, and so it's always great to start here. So I'm kind of excited that we're doing that.
Because he's like one of the granddaddies of Goth.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how he'd feel about being called Granddaddy of Goth, but
Yeah.
he won't haunt us, Bill. It's okay.
I don't know. I'm not taking any chances. Also, if you've been doing Leah's 100-day challenge like I have, the prompts all lean towards Goth.
Mm.
And I'm really sorry I didn't see that beforehand.
It's great though. I'm writing a lot of fun stuff. Okay, sorry, I sidelined us.
Okay. Let's just do like 4 paragraphs.
Cool.
And we'll see where we get, because it's a little long. Do we want to have like some kind of a reading voice?
Oh gosh.
What's a goth voice?
I feel like I just go into a very specific voice when I'm reading Poe as it is. It's just so easy to do. I don't
Yeah.
know that I could consciously make one up.
Okay. I can't wait.
I don't
I think my cold.
Special.
Cold is going to be my reading voice.
And that would be appropriate for Poe.
Yeah.
Is it like aware of itself? I was trying to think like navel gazing. Navel gazing.
Yeah. So I think it's like slow and kind of like
Mm.
to yours. So I think navel gazing is perfect.
Okay. Silence, a Fable. Edgar Allan Poe. The mountain pinnacles slumber. Valleys, crags, and caves are silent. Listen to me, said the demon, as he placed his hand upon my head. The region of which I speak is a dreary region in Libya, by the borders of the river Zaire. There is no quiet there, nor silence. The waters of the river have saffron and sickly hue, and they flow not onwards to the sea, but palpitate forever and forever beneath the red eye of the sun with a tumultuous and convulsive motion. For many miles on either side of the river's oozy bed is a pale desert of gigantic water lilies. They sigh one unto the other in that solitude, and stretch toward the heaven their long ghastly necks, and nod to and fro their everlasting heads. And there is an indistinct murmur which cometh out from among them like the rushing of subterranean water, and they sigh one unto the other. But there is a boundary to their realm, the boundary of the dark, horrible, lofty forest. There, like the waves about the Hebrides, the low underwood is agitated continually. But there is no wind throughout the heaven, and the tall primeval trees rock eternally hither and thither with a crashing and mighty sound, and from their high summits one by one drop everlasting dews, and the roots, strange poisonous flowers, lie writhing in perturbed slumber. And overhead, with a rustling and loud noise, the gray clouds rush westwardly forever until they roll a cataract over the fiery wall of the horizon. But there is no wind throughout the heaven. And by the shores of the river Zaire there is neither quiet nor silence. It was night, and the rain fell, and falling it was rain, but having fallen, it was blood. And I stood in the morass among the tall, and the rain and fell upon my head, and lilies sighed one unto the other into the solemnity of their desolation. Leah?
And all at once the moon arose. It was a thin, ghastly mist, and was crimson in color. And mine eyes fell upon a huge gray rock which stood by the shore of the river, and was lighted by the light of the moon. And the rock was gray, and ghastly, and tall, and the rock was gray. Upon its front were characters engraven with the stone. And I walked through the morass of water lilies until I came unto the shore, and I might read the characters upon the stone. But I could not decipher them. And I was going back into the morass when the moon shone with a fuller red, and I turned and looked again upon the rock and upon the characters, and the characters were desolation. And I looked upwards, and there stood a man upon the summit of the rock, and I hid myself among the water lilies that I might discover the actions of the man. And the man was tall and stately in form, and was wrapped up from his shoulders to his feet in the toga of old Rome. And the outlines of his figure were indistinct, but his features were the features of a deity. For the mantle of the night, and of the mist, and of the moon, and of the dew, had left uncovered the features of his face. And his brow was lofty with thought, and his eye wild with care, and in the few furrows upon his cheek I read the fables of sorrow, and weariness, and disgust with mankind, and a longing after solitude. And the man sat upon the rock, and leaned his head upon his hand, and looked out upon the desolation. He looked down into the low, unquiet shrubbery, and up into the tail primeval trees, and up higher at the rustling heaven, and into the crimson moon. And I lay close within shelter of the lilies, and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. And the man turned his attention from the heaven, and looked out upon the dreary river Zaire, and upon the yellow ghastly waters, and upon the pale legions of the water lilies. And the man listened to the sighs of the water lilies, and to the murmur that came up from among them. And I lay close within my covert, and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I went down into the recesses of the morass, and waited afar in among the wilderness of the lilies, and called unto the hippopotami, which dwelt among the fens in the recesses of the morass. And the hippopotami heard my call, and came with the behemoth unto the foot of the rock, and roared loudly and fearfully beneath the moon. and I lay close within my covert and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock. Then I cursed the elements with the curse of tumult, and a frightful tempest gathered in the heaven where before there had been no wind. And the heaven became livid with the violence of the tempest, and the rain beat upon the head of the man, and the floods of the river came down, and the river was tormented into foam, and the water lilies shrieked within their beds, and the forest crumbled before the wind, and the thunder rolled, and the lightning fell, and the rock rocked into its foundation. And I lay close within my covert, and observed the actions of the man. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned, and he sat upon the rock.
Then I grew angry and cursed with the curse of silence, the river and the lilies and the wind and the forest and the heaven and the thunder and the sighs of the water lilies. And they became accursed and were still. And the moon ceased to totter up its pathway to heaven, and the thunder died away, and the lightning did not flash, and the clouds hung motionless, and the waters sunk to their level and remained. And the trees ceased to rock, and the water lilies sighed no more, and the murmur was heard no longer from among them, nor any shadow of sound throughout the vast, illimitable desert. And I looked upon the characters of the rock, and they were changed, and the characters were silence. And mine eyes fell upon the countenance of the man, and his countenance was wane and terror. And hurriedly he raised his head from his hand, and stood forth upon the rock and listened. But there was no voice throughout the vast, illimitable desert, and the characters upon the rock were silence. And the man shuddered, and turned his face away, and fled afar off in haste, so that I beheld him no more.
Okay, what was the experienced reading Poe? I have to turn my lights on so I can read.
So I read this today for the first time when I got the link to it, and I didn't feel it until we just read it together now, but it really has this like Old Testament biblical kind of cadence and rhythm to it, for me at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's very cyclical and repetitive and really drills in the point at the end of every paragraph.
Did you start to feel like, I mean, I kind of felt that feeling of like, I'm reaching hellfire and brimstone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, this was very, very biblical sounding.
Like my note as you both were reading, and I was like, wait, is this hell? Like I wrote in all caps, hell? Question mark? Which I didn't grasp until we were reading through it just now.
Yeah, reading it, hearing it out loud, I didn't. When I was reading it to myself, I didn't catch on to that. But reading it out loud, it really felt that way.
Right, because it's like recursive. I noticed that so much of it gets said, and then it gets said again, and then it's like most things are repeated, like many, many times. And the hippopotami, I was cracking up, Leah, when you were reading about the hippopotami.
Yeah.
Well, I was reading it out loud to Jason the first time I read it, and the hippopotami came up, and I was like, where the hell?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, that last line that's repeated, not the very last line, but it's repeated at the end of 4 paragraphs, middle, but the night waned and he sat up on the rock. That was when I noticed that it was repeating. And then I realized that there were other times that other like phrases were repeating too. And even just that it was night and the rain fell, and falling, it was rain, but having fallen, it was blood. It's just like, I think part of it is just the way that he writes and for the tone of the story, but I also feel like there's probably done into it too, to be so repetitive.
Mm-hmm. Now, you cannot get away with that in a novel. Right? You can get away with it in poetry, right? Those recursive sounds, the repetitions. Because if we see those repetitions in a story, we would be like, no, this is This doesn't work. They just repeated hippopotamus 5 times in the same paragraph.
You're like,
The
move on already.
hippopotami, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like he's breaking structure, or he's breaking some rules there for the sake of rhetoric, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this does, especially out loud, sound very poetic. Like it is more of a poem than anything.
Mm-hmm.
It fits with the narrator, though. A demon narrator.
Mm-hmm.
A demon would speak this way. And these biblical kind of rhetoric. I mean,
Okay.
one of the things I wrote, one of the craft notes that when I read it earlier today was it's number one, strange narrator.
It is a strange narrator because it almost seems like the narrator and the demon are aligned. Like
Well,
they,
the way
That's-
I read it, go ahead.
No, because I want to know, because I was trying to figure it out. So how'd you
I read it at that the demon is the one speaking to us. He placed his hand upon my head. I mean, that could be all of us mortals, all of us humans, all of
wow.
us. Men. That's how I read it.
It is, because it's all a quotation of the demon speaking to him. I did not even notice that. That's insane.
so they're like, so there are two, but it's really the demon. And then who's hiding in the bush? Is the demon hiding in the bushes? That was one of the questions I had. I was like, I think it's the guy.
Oh,
The demon and the guy.
I think
no,
the
it is.
demon.
It is.
Is this the demon?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the demon. I think, yeah.
And he's watching man, and the man is a depiction of all men. Is how. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is good. Listen to me, said the demon, as he placed his hand upon our heads. We'll say.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that helps. And so the demon's hanging out in the bushes, just watching this guy come to the rock.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 3 kind of experiences here where the man, what is the man running from? That's a question I had. What is the man seeking by coming to
The man is seeking solitude. The man is seeking the opposite of what humanity is giving him, which is disaster and turmoil.
right? Chaos, turmoil, like the stain and the noise of humanity.
Mhm.
I mean, as a family of 5, I can attest to it. It's chaos. It's filthy, right? We leave a stain on the earth everywhere we go. It's a lot.
I felt like the man was the piece for me turned at silence when silence shows up on the rock, and the man was able to buffer all of the stuff the demon was doing ahead of that, and the real turn, the man flees when the demon subtracts all of that chaos. The demon's like, it's raining blood, and there's hippopotami, and there's ghastly mists and a red moon. The man trembles and sits upon the rock each time until the demon starts to take stuff away. And I thought that was the interesting thing for me about the whole piece was when you would expect the man to run, he doesn't. And when he's confronted with silence, that's when he flees.
It's the very thing he's kind of seeking.
Yeah. You would think. Yeah.
And so when there's no confirmation of his existence coming back at him, nothing to respond to,
Exactly.
right? That's when he becomes terrified.
That's what I
Right.
think. I think that he's being given this. It's confirming that what he believes desolation and solitude to be, except then it's overwhelming, and then when it becomes what it actually is when he flees. this is what I mean when I texted you guys earlier and was like, as soon as I understand him, I'm like, wait, no, I don't understand you.
Well, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, outside of like the meaning of it, it's very atmospheric. So I was also just trying to like craft wise, what did he do to build this atmosphere? Maybe I don't know what point he was trying to get across to me, but it definitely gave me the feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
With
there's
direct-
a big clue to its meaning in just the fact that it's a fable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And a fable, I just want to ground us in a fable is a certain kind of being. It's what a certain kind of being does when it reaches a particular boundary.
Mm.
And it stages up a test and then it shows the result.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, there's the fable of the grasshopper and, I mean, not the grasshopper. There is one about the grasshopper, but the scorpion and the frog. Do you guys know that one?
I do not.
Oh, I do.
Ooh, Leah, do you
No.
think you could
No.
recount it? So the scorpion comes along and the scorpion wants to get across the water and the frog is there and the scorpion's like, "Hey frog, give me a ride. Give me a ride across the pond." And the frog is like, "No way, dude, you're scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
just
don't
gonna
trust
kill
you.
me." And he's like, "Why would I do that? We would both die." And then they're out in the middle of the pond and the scorpion stings him.
Yeah.
And right.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that one.
Lo and behold.
And then there's like the Buddhist one about that guy who's like, where the monk helps a lady across a puddle, except the monks aren't supposed to touch women.
Hmm.
And he says, something about like, I let go of her. I already let go of her. Why are you still holding on to her?
Mm. Yeah.
There's like that one. There are a bunch of them, right? And the idea is like, there's like this, it's like this conflict. We're put up against a conflict to see what happens on the other side. What happens when we encounter this conflict?
So for this, it's what we're getting is that we want solitude, we want silence, but when we're given that, we realize that we need the chaos of the world and life to exist.
Yeah.
I
To
think you get Poe.
Yeah. To confirm our existence. Okay. Are you ready to try something?
Always.
Given that we know kind of what a fable is, we've got, I'm going to kind of frame you in, let's see, first person present, if I could, because I think we need some immediacy here.
Mm-hmm.
So Leah and I have been practicing Italian. Bill, you know Spanish. So you know about declensions.
Okay.
It's how the articles and the nouns and the adjectives relate to one another, right? And so you can have a feminine article and a feminine adjective and a feminine noun, and they all have to work, right? We don't have that in English.
Right.
So that is those are declensions. And what happens is that the articles decline, they change under certain circumstances, like when they become plural, then they decline away from their root, which I just love this word. I'm so obsessed with declensions. But this idea of declining, like things that we would like veer away from or shy away from. So I'd like us to take maybe 5 minutes or 7 minutes and list out as many things that you can think of that we decline, that people run from or decline away from.
Okay.
And so since it's Poe and we're all in black, I think we should be a little bit dark with this.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go dark? So just like 10 moments. This is like 10 moments that one person would shy away from something. Decline. Okay.
Bill and I are prepped for this, so.
See you.
Man.
All right. Well, Steven
I work in a hospital.
Oh, true that too.
Okay.
And I put the step 1 in the chat for anybody else who's tuning in.
Thank you. Do you have a few that are interesting yet? Do you need a little more time? No.
I'm good. I have a question though.
Yeah.
This is considered a fable, right? So, and fables are defined by, I mean, usually animals.
Sometimes. They don't have to.
What makes this a fable? Other than like what makes it a fable and not like a parable or an allegory or is it just because Poe decided it's a fable? Or is it the hippopotamus? Or is it
Well,
the
it's how it's told.
Mhm.
There's a lesson learned.
Okay. Okay. I was always just because my my draws today for my 100-day thing was shoot, where is it? It's shovel is my word. And then my style is parable, which is insane that that happened because a parable and a fable are essentially the same thing except for like what's used in a fable to tell a lesson, right? I got very lucky. So I was just curious more than anything what would make this a fable.
Okay. Fables typically use anthropomorphized animals or objects to teach practical lessons.
So is it the rock and the demon and the hippopotamus? I'm going to say that's what it is.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I'm because you're the Gothic expert, I'm gonna rely on you to answer that question.
Perfect. Thank you for letting me talk that through.
I mean, the demon,
Yeah, right?
because the demon is telling the story
That's where
according to
my
the.
mind went. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
solved. Thank you.
Okay. So now these are useful because like you're at all of these moments are threshold moments. So there's a decision that's being made, there's an action typically, there's and there's also an absence that gets created because there's a void. So when you shy away from something, there is an expectation. So there's like kind of an open space. So I'm just calling your attention to that. Leah, will you dance with me? Leah says no. And there's this right? There's like I always think of it like Spike Lee. Remember those long Spike Lee shots where he would go right, like he
Yeah.
would go in and out. Love those. So it creates a bit of a void. All right, that's two, three. Now I'd like you to pick one of these that is interesting to you, and I want you to ask three questions of it. And those questions are as follows. I will. Are you willing to type it into the chat, Leah,
Yes, I'm doing it as we speak, as you speak.
as I speak? Okay. What exactly is about to happen? Name it specifically.
Okay.
We don't have to be coy. We're just like we're giving a name to it. What does the person, character, animal, whatever? What does the person think will happen? What will happen if they stay? If they don't decline it?
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna take 10 minutes with answering these questions.
Okay.
Okay. See you in 10. How y'all doing? You going strong?
Yeah.
You okay? Can you pause?
I'm good.
Your pause. Okay. Okay. So were you able to answer those questions pretty easily?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So then 4. So here we are in the first person present tense. Um, you're a narrator. You're watching this person. And so I would like to add a constraint to this because I think constraints are fun, and Leah does this to me. And so Kathy Fish had this great lesson, a great prompt that used anaphora, and Leah used it the other day. You used it in a piece that you just wrote. What
Yeah.
do you remember what line you repeated?
You won't remember, but
You won't remember, but and so it's an opening line that gets repeated multiple times throughout. And so I invite you to use either anaphora, which is that repetition of an opening line, or choose one line that your character tells themselves and repeat it 3 times, letting it change each time as the situation intensified. So, like, if we look at the demon watching, um, and the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned and he sat upon the rock. And the man trembled in the solitude, but the night waned and he sat upon the rock. Right, and it waned, and he sat upon the rock, and the man shuddered, and he turned his face away, and fled afar off in haste, so that I beheld him no more. So consider that. So you're gonna repeat something, and you're gonna repeat it on purpose, because it's not a novel, and it's gonna be part of your structure.
cool.
Can you handle it?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, and we're gonna come back in at about 8:57
Cool.
for a quick roundup. So right on.
Cool.
All right, that one's fast for me. It's 8:58. I was rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what phrase did you repeat? Did you repeat anything? Did you do what the prompt told you to do?
I
Should you do
followed
right?
your instructions to the letter.
I'm so proud.
We
Even
were
though
new to the neighborhood.
Flash Club is you don't have to follow the rules.
That's
Number one.
right.
Mm-hmm.
My line was, we were new to the neighborhood. We were new to the neighborhood and wanted to fit in. And then the next one is kind of new to the neighborhood, hoping to get invited to the potluck. We're new to the neighborhood. So when the Andersons told us they were practicing cannibals, we just nodded politely, trying to be culturally sensitive. And then it escalated from there.
Wow.
And then it escalated.
No. Did you eat? Did you eat the
No. The wife made a really quick save and blamed their Mediterranean diet on the husband's cholesterol.
Smart.
Yeah. Ooh.
Smart.
That one.
She's crafty. Yeah. Okay. Leah, did you repeat anything?
Yeah, I was gonna be the hero. I was gonna save this man. I repeated that over and over. It's turning. It's turning on him.
Okay. My
Yeah,
line.
you tell us.
Okay, my line was, it wasn't like this hadn't happened before. I watched the missus come into the kitchen. So she is having a battle. The missus is having a real battle with a chocolate cake on the counter.
Poe would be so proud of us. It's battling chocolate cake.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
just watched Nina eat chocolate cake earlier today, so
Yep. And it wasn't just one piece. I went back for another. It was a sliver. They're always just slivers.
Yeah.
good looking cake.
So I hate Fiona for it. She kills me. Anyway, that was mine. Anyway, I hope this was useful for you guys.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Leah, Bill, I hope you guys send me what you wrote. Have you guys written today?
I
No,
have.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to post. So,
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to reading it. Okay, tune in. Are we all here next week?
yes.
I think so. Yep.
Okay. So if we hear back from Bruce, maybe we'll do Bruce's. If not, we have no idea what we're doing just yet. Hello, crew. All right. So same time, same channel, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay.
See you
Ciao.
guys. Bye.
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 Oh, I'm still here.